doing some psychedelics just blows that out of the water. Like, what the fuck is society? It's like it's all made up. It's literally all made up, and yet people, make they think it's like okay, and they justify it because it's like, oh well, it wouldn't be able to function without it. And it's like, well, maybe it would. And I like
We did.
the idea with, yeah, it's like it doesn't make any sense to me why mushrooms are illegal, but at the same time it makes a ton of sense given the state of how things are right now and the need for people to want more. That's how, everything
That's it.
keeps on churning. And it's like, so it makes perfect sense why they're illegal, because if everyone stopped, but it's not like from a harmful sense, it's from the machine needs to keep on running, and this might stop that machine and
Totally.
start a new one if we dropped a little bit in the water or something.
And that's the point, right? Under these
Yeah.
substances, you suddenly gain a sense of clarity and you start going, whoa, wait a minute. And you start looking around and you realize again that all the patterns you've been going through are patterns and that they become familiar and that it's all you've been taught. And so it's all you know. And you start to think outside the box. And that's very much why those are illegal. That's exactly it. I wanted to cover this quickly because I did have somebody comment recently that do I believe psychedelics are necessary to waking up? And I just wanted to comment on this quickly because the experience that you had is common when people do experience or when they experiment with psychedelics, particularly psilocybin mushrooms, they tend to have a profound experience. They have an insight. But in that, they tend to pass the insight off to the substance that, oh, I was just tripping, or oh, it was just the drugs. And they fail to remember, no, it was you doing the work within that. It just again changed the conscious environment. I like to look at it as, if you were to imagine your ego or all the thoughts you tell yourself about yourself in the world, each one being a layer or a weight, we're always having all these weights piled on top of ourselves. Well, all of a sudden, when you're on psychedelics or when you're in an extremely clear mind, it's like those weights become feathers. All of a sudden your perception of the weight just changes entirely and you stand up like it was never a thing because the weight was all dependent on how much commitment you put into it. And so psychedelics can show you the door to that, but they can't teach you to do it. You have to do it yourself. You actually have to have the will to do it, because if you don't, even in psychedelics, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a profound trip. You could just sit there giggling